welcome everyone. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to tell you how to build a quiz game on Python. This is what I learned yesterday and I wanted to share with you what I learned. Also, after we finish, we are going to continue with this video, how to build projects for beginner, and we will apply what we're going to learn together. I will leave the link in the description below. Please, if you're new to this channel, make sure to subscribe and to hit the notification button. So that's what I did yesterday. I'm gonna show you, and then do you want to play? Here we say yes. Okay, let's play. And then the first question, the second question, the third question, and the fourth, and then you've got 0%, you've got 0 questions correct. So today I will try to apply what I learned yesterday from this tutorial. So first of all, we're going to print a welcoming message. Let's say welcome to our game, or welcome to my game, let's say. I'm working on PyCharm. If you don't have this, you can work in whatever you can or whatever application you have, it's fine. And then print. So this is the welcoming message. When someone just enters the game, they're gonna say welcome to my game or welcome to whatever. You can add whatever you like. And then here we're gonna print input. We're gonna ask them if they would like to play the game or to confirm that they want to play the game. Would you like to play? And then they're gonna answer yes or no. Here, just to make it clear, and here, yeah. Now let's run the program, check out if it's working. Would you like to play? Say yes. Yes. Oh, then this is a mistake because I don't want it to print whatever I'm printing. Input, would you like to play? Yes. See, here's gonna quit the program because we didn't give it any kind of instructions after this. And then here we can write if, or let's see here, starting, let's say, wait, starting underscore question equals input. So yes, wait, let's just check this out. Would you like to play? Yes. See, nothing is happening. And then we write if statement. If starting question does not equal yes, does not equal yes, then quit. Else, so if the user typed anything, apart from yes, then we will quit because obviously they don't want to play. So if they don't want to play, we're just gonna quit. Else, print, let's get started, and exclamation point. Here, let's try. Would you like to play? Yes. Let's get started. And then again it quit the program because we didn't give it any instructions. But then if we wrote no, it will just immediately quit the game without printing this. So Now we will say we need to type the first question. So input wait, let's say this is the first question. What's 1 plus 1? And we will leave a space here, so when they type the answer, it's not immediately directly connected to the to this sentence. And then here question 1, and then we need to define this, right? So what we need to type is, let's say question equals question, let's say 1 equals and then right? I think I'm doing it right. I learned this yesterday and I'm trying to apply what I learned with you guys. Now, no, wait. No, there's something wrong with here. There's something wrong. Let me just think about it for a minute. Pop. Right, this is correct. But instead of writing question, we can just write answer equals here if answer equals 2, print correct, right? Yes. Else print incorrect, right? So let's run the program. Would you like to play? Yes. Let's get started. What is, wait, let me make some adjustments here. What is 1 plus 1? Or we can write the following. First question, what is 1 plus 1? Let's run again. Welcome to my game. Would you like to play? We type yes. Let's get started. First question, what is 1 plus 1? Let's say 3. It says incorrect here and then quits the game. But if we run it again and we said yes, I would like to play, and then answering the first question, the correct answer, we type 2 and then correct, and then quits the program because we have nothing else here. Okay. Now what we need to do is to create, I don't know, 3 questions or 5 questions or however you want. We just copy this, see, and paste it here. And remember that after this if statement finishes, anything that any new input for answer is gonna automatically change. So let's say here, second question, what is, let's say 2 plus 2. Now the answer, if answer equals 4, print correct, else print incorrect. And then we copy that. Oh, we already copied that. So we come here and we paste it and we said third question, third question, what is 5 plus, oh, sorry, what is 5 plus 5? If answer of that question is 10, then print correct, else print incorrect. Any other answer that is probably incorrect. And then, okay, let's say three questions are enough for now. Now, what we need to do is to check our program. So, would you like to play? Yes. First question, what is 1 plus 1? 2. Correct. Second question, what is 2 plus 2? 4. Correct. Third question, what is 5 plus 5? 10. Correct. Now, the game is finished and we got 3 correct answers. But what we can do is to say a goodbye message. Let's say, or like give the results. Print, you got plus, we need to give them the score, but we don't have any scores in here yet. That's what we need to add. Let's say we need to add it here. Score equals 0. Why 0? Because before the first question, their score is 0, and we don't know. We don't know if they're gonna answer correct or not. So here, what we need to do is when they answer the first question correctly, we need to add 1 to the score. So here, if answer equals 2, print correct, but also add 1 to score. Wait, score equals score plus 1. This is one way to do it, and there is another way to do it, which is plus equal 1. It is the same meaning. Score plus equals 1. It's the same meaning as score equals score plus 1. And then here, we copy this guy, and we put it here again, and we paste it here again. But what I want to do is, you've got score, because I want to tell the user or the player that they've got like 3 correct answers or 5 correct answers or 1 correct answers. So in total, eventually the score is gonna be, if I answered the first question correctly, the score is gonna be 1. And then we're gonna go to the second question. If I answered the second question correctly, the score is gonna be 2. If I answered it wrong, it's gonna say 1. So in total, and then we're gonna add plus, and here you got whatever score they got, plus correct. 5, let's say you've got 3, for example, correct answers. And then there is a problem in here, because this is a number, and what we need to do is to put the string function in here to be treated like a string, and then we're gonna test our program. Welcome to my game. Would you like to play? Yes, I would. Let's get started. First question, what is 1 plus 1? 2. Second question, 2 plus 2. I'm gonna answer this incorrectly, 3. And third question, 5 plus 5, 10. Correct, you got 2 correct answers. So the problem is, here, the number 2 and correct are connected. What we need to do is simply to add a space right here. And then you're gonna run again. Would you like to play? Yes. Yes. 2. And then I'm gonna answer it wrong. And I'll answer the third question wrong also. You got 1 correct answer. See? And this, ladies and gentlemen, how you build a simple, beginner-friendly quiz game on Python. So, thank you so much for watching. If you're still here, please make sure to subscribe to the channel. That's gonna help me a lot. And if you still have more time, I'm going to continue learn another project today. So we can watch that together and try to learn it together from this guy. I will leave, from Tick with Them. I will leave this tutorial's link on the description below. So let's get started to the second project.
I was going to do second. So this one is pretty straightforward. What we're going to do is generate a random number, and we're going to track how many times it takes the or there will be a link, that has this code in the game. Now we're going to move on to do a number guesser. I think this is the one I was saying I was going to do second. Okay. So this one is pretty straightforward. What we're going to do is generate a random number, and we're going to track how many times it takes the user to guess this number. And so what I'm going to do is zoom in a bit here so that we can see our code. The first thing I'm going to do is import this module in Python called random. All right, so first thing to mention here is that this right here is what's known as...
So, again guys, this game I don't know how to build yet, so I'm just going to learn it with you. If you're interested to know more, please stick with me and we can learn it together. And make sure to subscribe to the channel and hit the notification button.
A module. So when you import random, you're importing the random module. Now this just lets you use all of the functionality that's kind of in here. This is default. This is installed with Python by default. You don't need to install it or anything like that.
Okay.
In quick note, there is modules that are built by people like me or other developers out there, and you can import them, but you have to install them first. This one is just built into Python by default, and so no installation is required. Anyways, let me show you how to make a random number. So there's a few different ways to do this, but the two simplest ways are to do random dot and then rand range. And then you're going to do an open and closing parenthesis. And let me get rid of the print statement so we can see this better for right now. And here, you're going to put the start and then the stop of the range.
Wait, I'm not following with you, I'm sorry. Yes, and here, start, comma, stop, and on between them, what should we write?
For your random number. So you would do something like -1 if you wanted to start the range at -1 and stop at 10. Excuse me. And then what this would do is generate a random number that goes from -1 to 10.
Okay, yeah. So between, let's say 0 and 10.
10, but does not include 10. So that's very important.
So
the number you put here is
10,
the absolute upper bound. You cannot have the number 10 be generated if 10 is here. If you wanted the range to generate a number between -1 and 10, you would have to put 11. Again, right. I don't know why they do that. There's just some things in Python that aren't necessarily intuitive for beginners. But with this is 11, it's not going to generate 11. It will generate up to 10.
Okay.
So make sure that's clear. Now, there's another thing you can do here. If you want the range to just start at 0, you can say random.randrange and just put the stop. If you just put one thing here, what this will do is generate a random number between 0 and this number -1, so up to 10.
Okay.
And yeah, there you go. That's how that works. Okay, okay, so let's do something from -5 to 11. And let's say r is equal to random.randrange. And let's just print r. Okay, so let me run this. And we'll look at our thing here. Okay, run. And notice we get a 5. Now, if I run this again, we're getting a -3. I run a bunch of times, we get a bunch of random numbers. You see, this is random. And there you go. That's working. We got a 9. We can just run a bunch of times. We got a 10. Notice we won't get 11 if we do this.
Yeah.
Sweet. So we're getting a random number. So that's one way. Another way to do this is with a function called randint. Now, randint works the exact same way as randrange, except now it will include 11. So the upper bound range now
Oh, I
includes
see.
the number that you
Okay.
typed, doesn't go up to but not included. So now if I do -5 to 11, 11 will possibly be generated. So if I
Okay.
run this now, we get 6, right? And if we keep running it, we
And
might see that
11.
we get 11.
Oh, we got 11. Cool.
Okay, I'm not. This could take a while. Yeah, there you go. So we do get 11. So that
I
works.
got it.
Okay, sweet.
Okay.
And same thing here. If you decide to not include the start, it will just generate up to and including this end number that you put right here.
All right. From
So that's how
0.
you make a random number. So what we want to do is generate a random number. So actually, let's leave this here. Let's say random underscore number. And then we want to ask the user to guess this number. And every single time they guess it, we're going to tell them if they were above or below the number so that they can do it in like a reasonable number of guesses, especially if we make this number like really large, right? So the first thing I'm going to actually ask the user is how large of a number they want to generate. So we'll assume it starts at 0, and then we'll ask them to type in a number, and we'll generate it up to that number. So I'm going to say, let's say top of range is equal to, and then input,
range,
and we'll say
equals to
type a
input,
number. We won't even tell them what it's for. We'll just say type a number. Okay, so now they're going to type a number. So what we actually need to do here is we need to make sure that this thing they typed in here is a number. Because if the user types in like hello or Tim or some random string, something that's not a number, then we can't use that, right? And we also need to make sure the number they type in is greater than 0. So I'll show you how we do that.
Okay.
I'm going to say if the top of range dot is digit. Okay? And then I'm going to do an if statement inside of this if statement. I'm going to say if the int, and actually we're going to do this. We're going to say top of range is equal to int top of range. And let me pause here and explain what I'm doing. So first of all, you can make a variable using underscores. When you want to have multiple words, it makes a lot of sense to make the name with underscores. So like top underscore of underscore range. You can't have a variable that's like top range. That won't work. You need to have it connected. You can't have like 2 separate words like that. Anyways, this is equal to input. The user's going to type something in. Now, by default, when the user types something in, it's going to return it to us with double quotation marks. So it's going to be a string. So even if the user types in like 25, it's going to be returned to us like this. And this here, for Python, is not considered a number. It's not considered an integer. It's considered a string. And so we need to convert this 25 so that it looks like this, so that it's actually a number. And the way you do that is you use this function called int. So you surround the string with int, and then it will convert this string into its numeric representation, so it will give us 25. However, if you try to convert something that's not an actual...
So as easy as it gets is like int to change things to numbers and strings to change numbers to text. If you just want to text the 25 as it is to print it out, like what we did in the previous game, right?
Integer into an int, it's going to fail. You're going to get an error. And so we need to make sure that what the user typed in is a digit before we try to convert it into an int. And the way you check that is with this isDigit method. So I say if top of range dot isDigit, what isDigit will do is return to us true if this is a number, otherwise it will return false. And so if this right here is true, we will convert top of range into an integer. So top of range is equal to int top of range.
Okay.
Then we will check if top of range is greater than 0. So we'll say if top of range is, actually we're going to say less than 0, less than or equal to 0 specifically, then what we will do is we'll print out, please type a number larger than 0 next time, and then we'll just quit. So we'll tell them what they did wrong, and then we're just going to quit the program right there. Otherwise, if we make it through all of this, we're good. But one thing we need to do here is we need to put an else, and we need to put quit, and we need to put a print statement that says, please type a number next time. So let me run through this. What we're doing is checking if it is a digit. If it's not a digit, so in the else statement, we need to tell them, hey, you got to type in a digit. This doesn't work if you don't type in a number.
I didn't get this. Please type a number next time. Oh, right. Now we're dealing with this if, not this if. So else print please type a number. Bumper? No, it's number. Number. All right. Cool. And then quit. All right.
Number, right? And then we quit. Now, if that works, if it is a digit, we convert it into an int. We make sure it's greater than 0. If it isn't, then we tell them, hey, you got to type in a number, and then we quit.
Right.
But if we make it through all of this and we don't quit, so we've now converted the number to an int, we can now use that number to generate our random number. So we can say random number, random.randint, and then we can put top of range as our variable for generating that random number, and we'll now generate up to whatever number they typed in.
Okay.
Sweet. So now that we have that, let's just print out the random number, and let's just test this and make sure it's all working. So I'm going to run this, type a number, let's type 5, and we got one issue, randint missing one potential argument, b.
Wait.
Okay, so this is...
Let me try first to print R. Sorry, print R. Here. What's wrong with this one? R equals random.randint top of range. What's wrong with it? It needs another parenthesis. Okay, print R. It's not working. Why?
This is my fault. I was saying when we used randint, we could just include the top of the range. That's false. We need to include the bottom of the range as well. So I'm going to put 0 there, and now this should work. So let's run this, and let's type a number. Let's type 5, and there you go. We generate.
Wait, what's going on? If top of range. Hey, what's wrong with that? I'll have to go back. It's exactly as what he wrote. If top of range, right? Oh, okay. I always forget this. I always forget that. 6. Alright. What if we type this? Please type a number. Alright. What if -5? Please type a number. Oh, wait. Something's going on. Oh, what's going on? It's not working. Right, something's wrong. It needs to give me this message, not this message. I'm so confused. I am so confused right now.
Whatever number they typed in. Sweet. So now that we have that, let's just print out the random number, and let's just test this and make sure it's all working. So I'm going to run this, type a number, let's type 5, and we got one issue, randint missing one potential argument, b. Okay, so this is my fault. I was saying when we used randint, we could just include the top of the range. That's false. We need to include the bottom of the range as well.
Okay,
so I'm going to put 0 there, and now this should work. So let's run this, and let's type a number. Let's type 5, and there you go. We generated a random number, which was 4. If we run this again, type 5, we get 3. You can see this is indeed working.
But when I put
Sweet. So now that
-3,
we have our random number, we want to
so
keep
weird.
asking the user to type in a guess for the number until they get it correct. And so I'm going to use a while loop here, and I'll explain how this works in a second. I'm just going to say while true. Now, what this means is, okay, we're going to do whatever is indented after this while loop here, after the colon, while this condition, whatever's at the top of here, is true. So right now, if we just decided to like print Tim, this would happen infinitely. This loop would never stop unless we actually like manually close the program. The reason is because there's no way for this to end, right? I say while true, well, true is always true, and so we're just always going to print 10. However, there is this keyword, it's called break, and what break will do is immediately stop the loop as soon as this line of code is executed. So what we can do is use this break keyword to break out of the loop, stop running the loop as soon as the user types in the correct number. So we're going to say while true, this is the condition for the while loop. We could do a real condition. We could say something like while like input And actually, we'll say like user guess is not equal to random number. We could do something like that. That would work as well. But I want to show you using the break keyword. So instead, we're going to do while true. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to start by asking the user to guess what the number is, right? That's the very first thing we do every single time we ask them. We say, okay, make a guess. So I'm going to say user underscore guess is equal to, and then input. I'm going to say make a guess, colon. Now, same thing here. We need to check if the user's guess is actually an integer, right? And so I'm going to copy exactly what we just did right here. And I'm going to paste it down below. And I'm going to say, okay, if the, and now instead of saying top of range, I'm going to say user underscore guess dot is digit, then user underscore guess is equal to.
I'm getting confused. Give me a second. Give me 1 second. Alright, we just need to copy this and paste it here, right? According to you. And this needs to be here. Oh, what's going on? Yes. Right, and then instead of top of range, we put user guess, and here user guess. What's going on? And here again user guess. All right, let's see.
Int of user underscore guess, and then I'll even take this, and we don't need to check if the number is less than 0. That's fine. We can just do this. So I'm going to say, and I'm going to get rid of this quit. Okay, let me explain this.
Wait, we don't need that. Why we don't need that? All right. All right.
What I'm saying is, okay, the user guess is equal to input, make a guess. They're going to type in some number. This comes in as a string. We need to make sure that what they've typed in is actually a number. If it is a number, we'll convert it to a number. We're all good. However, if it is not a number, then we're going to say, please type a number next time. And we're going to use this keyword called continue. Now, what continue will do is automatically bring us back to the top of our loop. So it's a little bit different than break. Rather than ending the loop, it just brings us back to the very top. We hit this continue keyword, this won't run. We won't print. We'll just go back up to the top of the loop and ask the user to make another guess.
Okay.
And so that's what we're going to do.
Okay.
However, we're going to come down here now. And we're going to say if the user guess is equal to the random number, we're going to print, and we're going to say you got it. You got it correct.
Equals.
Otherwise, we'll say else, print,
or
you got it wrong. So if they didn't get it right, they got it wrong, obviously,
print.
right? Whereas if they did.
Okay. Sorry, here. Print. You got it, right? Else, print, try again, right? Wrong.
Didn't type a number, we'll just say please type a number next time, and then we'll continue rather than doing this and telling them they got it wrong after they didn't even type a number.
But we also want them to continue.
Okay, hopefully that makes sense. We can
right.
test this out though and make sure it's working. So save the program and run. Now type a number. Let
4. What if a 9? But we didn't tell them that it needs to be between 0 and 6. Number 2. You got it. Cool.
Let's type a number, let's say 10. Okay, make a guess. We're going to guess 3. And wow, okay, we actually got it. That's great. But notice that it's still asking us to keep making guesses.
Right.
And to quit this, you can type Control-C on your keyboard if you get into an infinite loop. The reason it's telling us to do that is because we didn't break out of the while loop, right? We said you got it, but we didn't stop. And to stop, we need to use the break keyword. So now you'll see if we do guess it, we'll immediately stop looping. Whereas if we don't get it, we will continue looping because the break keyword's not here. So let's run this now. Type a number.
Oh,
let's just go up
cool.
to 5.
I got
Make
it
a
from the
guess.
first
1,
guess.
you got it wrong. Okay, we'll guess 2, you got it wrong. 3, you got it wrong. 4, you got it wrong. 5, you got it. Sweet. And then we exit the loop. There you go. Okay, so that's working fine. Now what I'm going to do is I am going to keep track of how many times the user actually makes a guess. So to do this, I'm going to make a variable similar to what we had with score before. I'm going to say guesses is equal to 0. And now every single time we start this while loop again, I'm going to increment add 1 to guesses. So I'm going to say guesses plus equals 1. So at the very top of the loop, we'll increment guesses. So the first time this runs, guesses will be equal to 1. We'll go through all of this, then we'll come back up to the top. Guesses will now be equal to 2. The user will now make another guess. And now when we exit this while loop, once this is done, we're going to print out how many guesses they got. And I'm going to show you a different way to do this time. I'm going to say you got it in, and then we'll say comma, guesses, and then the string guesses. So another way to print multiple things on the same line is to use commas. So I'm going to say you got it in, and then I'm going to say whatever the number of guesses is. Notice I don't need a space here. Whenever you have commas separating your different things that you're printing out, it will automatically add spaces in between them. And then notice here I didn't even convert this to a string. And that's because the print statement is smart enough to say, okay, hey, this is an int. I'm going to convert this into a string for you and kind of automatically add it to this string. So what we were doing manually before, the print statement can just do for us. And so this time we'll let the print statement do it. This line here is completely equivalent to just having the plus, the space.
I'm going to practice this tomorrow with you again.
The other plus and the space, right? It's the exact same thing. Okay, so let's go back to what we had. And there you go. We are all good. Now, let's just run this, and I am going to show you how we can tell them if they got it greater than or less than, because I did tell you that we were going to do that. Okay, so let's run this. And let's say type a number. Let's go 5, make a guess. 1, you got it wrong. 2, you got it. And then it says you got it in 2 guesses.
Okay.
Sweet, all is working.
I got it.
So now
1.
the last thing we want to do is tell the user if they were greater than or less than the number so that they can kind of narrow down their guesses. And so rather than just telling them you got it wrong, now inside of the else statement, we're going to check if the user was above or if they were below. And there's a ton of different ways to do this. I'm just going to do it this way. I'm going to say if the user guess is greater than the random number, then what I want to do is say print you were above the number. Exclamation point. Otherwise, I'm going to say print
above,
and I'll say you were below the number. All right, so let's run through this. We're just checking if the user guess is greater than whatever the random number is. If it is, we're going to tell them they were above the number. Otherwise, if it wasn't greater than, it must be less than, and we're going to
else print you were below the number.
Say you were below the number.
What do you
now,
mean?
some of you may have heard that statement. If it wasn't greater than, it must be less than. You say, no, it could be equal to. That's correct. But the thing is, up here, we checked if it was equal to. And so if it was equal to, we would have gone into here. We would not have hit this else statement. So if we're in this else statement, we know we must not be equal to the random number.
Right.
And so instead, what we can do
it's gonna
is
break
run
before
this
even
if
we
statement
reach that
inside of
level.
the else.
Right. Type a number.
I'm going to show you a more
say
elegant way to do this in 1 second.
2,
Let's just run the
we've got
program
it
and
in
see if
one.
this works.
Oops.
Okay, let's run this. Type a number. Let's type 20. Make a guess. Let's guess 10.
20.
You were above the number. Okay,
20.
so now I don't have to
You're
guess
above the
below
number.
10. So I'm going to guess
5.
5. You were
You're
above the
below the
number.
number.
Okay, it's less than 5. 4, 3, 2, 1. You got it in 9 guesses. Okay, so anyways, that did work, but it was telling us whether we were above or below. Let's see if I can guess something that's actually, I guess I couldn't have guessed anything below 1. So let's run this again. Let's type 10. Let's guess 1. And then this time it is telling us we're below the number. Okay, great. So that is working. Okay, so the one thing I want to show you here is how we can clean this up a little bit using something new that we haven't seen yet, which is known as an elif statement. So an elif statement is something that kind of happens after the initial if statement is checked. So I'm just going to type this out, and then I'll show you how this works. So I'm going to say elif. Okay, so now what I've done is I've made this code a little bit cleaner.
Wait, what did you do in here? You deleted this, okay, and then you elif, right? All right, and then this else is also the same level at this one. All right.
And the way I've done this is I've removed that kind of nested if statement that we had, and I've now implemented an elif instead. So what the elif does is if the initial condition is not true, it will then check another condition. So it says, okay, if this is true, we're going to do this. We're going to skip all of this. If this is not true, we're going to check this. If this is true, we're going to do this, and we're going to skip whatever else is after it. However, if this is not true, then we're going to do whatever is in the else. So we're going to check this. If it's true, we do this. Otherwise, we check this.
Right.
If it's true, we do this.
Yeah.
And otherwise, if both of these things are false, we do what's in the else. And so that's just another way to do this, rather than having what we had before, which was the else, and then all of this kind of indented in the else, right?
Right.
This just cleans it up. And small note, you can have as many elif statements as you want.
And here,
so I could add another one like this if I wanted to do that. But in our case, it doesn't really make any sense to do that. Okay, so that's actually it. I'm not going to run the program. Just believe me, this does work. And yeah, that is going to be our number guessing game. So I'll zoom out a bit so you guys can kind of see all of the code. But that is how that works. I guess there's not really much more to say about that. And now we'll move on to the next one. All right, so now we're
all right, I think that's nice. That's nice. I'm gonna try to do this by myself tomorrow again to make sure that I understand everything. All right, guys. Thank you so much for watching. If you would like to help me achieve my dream, you can subscribe to the channel, hit the notification button, and write in the comment section anything that might help me throughout the journey of learning programming. Thank you so much for watching.